What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Pick Six Podcast, CBS Sports Daily NFL Podcast. I'm Will Brinson. I'm your host. It is Thursday, November 11th. Time for some insider talk. Of course, joining us to do so, one Josina Anderson. What's up, Josina? How we doing?
What's up, man? Will, the NFL news train never stops, Will.
It never does. In fact, this will be our second Cam-related discussion of the day, as we had an emergency podcast on Cam Newton re-signing with the New England Patriots, with the Carolina Panthers, his original team, as you can see over my right shoulder.
There you go. Boom. Bizone.
Situation over here. If you want to see my Cam Newton bobblehead hanging out over my right shoulder, you can do so on YouTube, youtube.com/pick6, or go to the YouTube app and search for Pick Six Podcast and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the little little dab. That's right. He's dabbing in the bobblehead, actually. Hit the like button if you're watching the video. Tell us how many rushing touchdowns you think we'll get and how many dabs we'll get from Cam this season with the Carolina Panthers. Also, make sure and hit the bell next to the subscribe button when you subscribe, and you'll be alerted when we go live on YouTube. We do so after every single primetime game, and Thursdays, usually at 1 o'clock when Pete Prisco's not being a diva. Thursday at 5 o'clock this week, and Tuesdays 1 o'clock. Ryan Wilson does a YouTube exclusive mock draft special, so check that out. To Cam though, Josina, how did this unfold? Because I don't think even the most ardent Cam and / Panthers fans would have expected Cam's return. I mean, I don't want to say it's because they gave him $4.5 million and that he wouldn't have done it for the veteran minimum, but I think that's probably somewhat involved, right?
Well, I think you're looking at a situation where opportunity meets need. I mean, there were certainly teams that needed quarterbacks prior to this one coming up with Carolina, starting with Seattle, the Washington football team, New Orleans, and each of those teams electing not to go in that situation. And here it is where now Sam Darnold, after the team started off 3-0, now going 1-5, and Sam Darnold getting hurt in that game against the Atlanta Falcons, where they said he suffered a concussion. But if you look at that video, you could tell that he had got hit in the shoulder as well, which is why I couldn't understand why it was just being deemed as a concussion. And then and later it was acknowledged as a shoulder, and then plays against the Patriots, no less, Cam's former team, and gets another injury in the second quarter that's now being deemed as a right shoulder blade injury. And now Matt Rule saying that Sam Darnold is out for the next 4 weeks at least. I think it'll be
shoulder injury. No, I mean, he really is.
Oh, well, are you got any other breaking news?
No, I think that the Panthers would be fine if it was like a 12-week shoulder injury.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was looking at some of the papers in North Carolina, and some of them, or I don't even know if it was NFL.com or Carolina. It could have been the Observer. It was one of those. But starting off the lead saying it's not working out for Carolina the Panthers and Sam Darnold. So that's just very interesting, really, Will, when you look at they put the stuff on the line for Sam Darnold, pushing out Teddy Bridgewater. Then you had an opportunity to get a quarterback before the trade deadline. Didn't get Deshaun Watson.
Don't forget, you also had the opportunity to draft Justin Fields or Mac Jones. But you didn't
do any of this. And now, because you find yourself 8th in the NFC, a half game out, from the Atlanta Falcons, and you want to remain competitive. Oh, yes, you need a quarterback. You need a quarterback. Yes, you need a quarterback.
But also, to your point about the Sam Darnold thing, the fans are a little restless, right?
Yes.
Not exactly. Fans are restless. I think people were starting to look. I mean, I know I'm starting to say it. I live here. People are starting to say it. Hey, David Tepper, do you know what you're doing? And Matt Rule, do you know what you're doing? Because it seems like David Tepper leaning on Matt Rule to go out and get Teddy Bridgewater, and they gave him an exorbitant contract. They're still paying him money. They had to dump him off to Denver. Then they trade for Sam Darnold, a second-round pick that is going to be probably be a pretty decently high second-round pick. There's only one player on the market, on the planet, I would even suggest. Well, maybe I should take that back. Deshaun Watson would qualify too. But the only way After the trade deadline, there is only one person on the planet who would get Panthers fans excited enough to cover up the Sam Darnold disaster, the previous quarterback disaster, and that person is Cam Newton. Like, Panthers fans are like, Cam's back. We don't care that you traded a second-round pick for Sam. You brought Cam back. Are you kidding me? We're going back to the Super Bowl. Like, Cam has a $2 million incentive if he takes the Panthers to the Super Bowl. What the hell are we talking about? Why? They're not going to the Super Bowl with Cam, but because he's back, Panthers fans are less likely to be mad about the Sam Darnold thing. I promise you, that's how sort of everybody feels. So I'm of the opinion that it's like a conspiracy cover-up designed to placate fans.
It doesn't have to be a conspiracy. It's just, PR optics. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it just is what it is, and it just is, and that's fine because it's also a business decision to help fans stay engaged, be excited, and put their butts in the seats, and that's all business. The question really becomes, could some of these things have been foreseen earlier? That's what really, to me, is the issue when it comes to if you had sat up there and did an interview with 5 Jets fans prior to bringing on Sam Darnold, what would they have said about Sam Darnold?
No, it's like, please, they would have been like, if you give us a 3rd-round pick for Sam Darnold, we will walk him down to Carolina.
I'm not saying this. I'm just asking what would have Jets fans said, okay?
Jets fans, every time Sam Darnold throws an interception, I know a lot of Jets fans, and you get like tweets or texts, it's like, that's Sam Darnold. Like, that's the Sam Darnold you got.
I'm just saying, and then when you were looking at, forget about, what Jets fans say. Then let's start looking at the stats and the results after they started off 3-0, how, Sam Darnold was playing. And here's the thing, eventually when any player starts off hot and, there's not a lot of tape on you, particularly in a new system, that being Sam Darnold with Matt Rule, things can start to catch up, and then you have the injury situation. And, I'm sure I feel like Sam Darnold felt pressure to get out there because, the trade deadline was after he got injured the first time against the Falcons. And people were wondering if because of that initial injury against the Falcons, if they were going to do something. David didn't even wait till trade deadline day. The news came out at the owners' meetings that he was already out. So he was already out having that first injury. And then Sam Darnold gets injured again. And then now you're in this situation, going with PJ Walker, bringing in Matt Barkley. I mean, it's just like.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, I'm with you. I mean, it's look, I don't know if the Cam thing's going to work. I don't think anybody knows if the Cam thing's going to work. This will be the healthiest he's been.
No, this is no question the best move for them to make, given where they are now.
Yeah,
right? And no qualms about that, because the Deshaun Watson thing is already, passed by, until March. So now you're going to have to make a decision on Cam Newton, after this season, after the 1-year deal is up, and then, potentially with Deshaun Watson, afterwards. And we'll see. And hey, listen, you said you're in Carolina. All y'all can do the Superman thing if it ggets on a magic carpet ride and takes y'all to the playoffs.
Yeah, like I mean, I might be back. I might be back as a Panthers fan. Not that I didn't really leave because I was didn't like because they cut Camry. I just you naturally as a working in sports, you just sort of drift away from being an actual fan of an NFL team.
I hear you. I hear you.
But if Cam, if it makes me feel like it makes me feel like I'm young again because Cam's making a run and dabbing and doing the Superman, I'm willing to get back in on it.
Well, you live there. You're a citizen of the state.
People are excited. People are surprised and excited and enthusiastic. I got tons of texts and all that stuff when it happened, and people asking what is this and we'll see. I don't think Cam. Do you have any sense of whether Cam will play this weekend or if he will make his debut against Ron?
I think of right now is that the plan is to go with PJ Walker. I mean, it is already Thursday.
Yeah, it would be pretty unusual.
Well, it would be different if the head coach of the Panthers was Ron Rivera. He is going into a whole different system, new offensive coordinator, new head coach.
Yep.
He just walked in there yesterday. It's different for Richard Sherman going to the Bucks and playing, 2 days later, when it's a quarterback position. So he's going to have and not only that, I would think for Cam, he would want to, have a better footing to make a better impression for his first game, which is very important, I think.
No doubt about it. And by the way, and let's not forget too that Joe Brady's got to, your Cam Newton playbook is different than your Sam Darnold playbook. So Joe Brady's going to have to cook up some stuff over the next 10 days where he's basically designing plays for Cam Newton. Your red zone package is completely different when you have Cam Newton than it is when you have Sam Darnold. And by the way, he's now Cam Newton's first game, likely on November 21st against the Washington football team and Ron Rivera in Charlotte. I'm looking right now. Club level tickets.
And you sure he might have seen that? I'm sure he's seen that.
Oh yeah, club level tickets for that game on StubHub. Just because I thought I'd look. The Panthers are.
Where's that game?
That is in Charlotte.
Wow.
Yeah. Ron Rivera revenge game. Cam Newton quadruple revenge game. Club level tickets. The cheapest you can get in the upper level tickets are over $100. Those upper level tickets are not great seats. $300, $400, $500 for club level seats. Lower levels going for $500, $400. I mean, and these prices were not the prices 8 hours ago. These prices are going up.
What were they 8 hours ago?
I didn't look because I didn't think Cam Newton was coming to Carolina. But I can promise you that these prices have gone up significantly in the last 8 hours since Cam Newton.
It's all about the bag, and Dave Tepper is a businessman. So that's all it takes. And sometimes, Will, the thing that you don't want to do, you see what I'm saying, is the thing that you have to do. And the thing about it is, Cam's been there all this time. He was released from the Patriots in August and would have cost less all this time.
They should have never picked up Sam Darnold's fifth-year option. That was a mistake. They didn't need, they shouldn't have done that early. And now they're going to be on the hook for $18.8 million. But at least they made people forget about the fact that they have done that and have Sam Darnold sitting there being a disaster.
How come nobody makes $18 million mistakes on you and I
know, right? I wish somebody would pick up my $18 million. Yeah, where's my
you make an $18 million mistake on me? Because I'm fine with that. I go to the Maldives and sit in some clear blue water, forget all of y'all.
Cam Newton podcast? I don't think so.
Nobody cares about a podcast.
How's your podcast going? I'll pull a Jim Mora. He got fired. Where he got fired from? He got fired. He gets fired and just doesn't work for the rest of his contract, and then takes a new job, gets fired, doesn't work again, and now he's back at UConn.
So it wouldn't be pick six; it would be pick deuces.
Yeah. It'd be two deuces. I am out.
I am out.
You guys won't ever see my face again. Which is probably win-win for several people.